Hello and welcome to the Celestial Orange Room. Chris here. As always, I want to thank you for the gift of your presence. Today I want to go over and review my 2024 lineup for planners and journals, as well as my 2025 current lineup and what has changed. First, I want to start with the book that I began the year planning in. I cannot really say planning because I don't really plan unless it's on a bullet journal, if that makes sense. I'll explain myself as I go along. Nonetheless, this B6 common planner, I used the vertical weeklies to track my time, whether that was at work or personal activities, and the sidebar would be used either to track some habits or things that I needed to do, whereas the back was used for journaling. I used this beginning of January. I had purchased it, I believe it was late 2023. Before I continue though, I do want to bring back the 2023 Common Planner because here I started journaling from January until May because I had not used the back pages. But yeah, I pretty much used that for journaling and kept keeping track of my time in this one throughout the year. I know that at some point I then started using the TN sized, but I also began the year with the vertical and one. These are the booklets. Same thing here. I would actually provide a bit more detail on what I was doing, like a summary of the activities, as well as kept bulleted memories or highlights. So I used this for the whole year. And then this A5 here, I would keep track not only of monthly events and things happening in the life, but I also used the back pages of this book as my expense tracker. It's silly because it's not necessarily silly, but I needed to see what I was spending my money on, how much I was spending at the end of the month, each month. Just because I was tracking it does not mean I was budgeting. Very big difference there. So by the end of the year, I had things in each category and what I had spent on what. I also kept the information in an Excel spreadsheet, but I also needed to write it down, like physically write down everything I purchased. Let's just say it was a lot. This other one here, this is my N1 monthly. This was only for personal events happening in my life, birthdays, get-togethers, that kind of thing. So I kept this one here as well. This A6 monthly is what I kind of use to forward plan or actually plan. So I would put on a monthly basis what it is that I needed to get done, and I would pencil in, okay, well, if I needed to be at a doctor's appointment, but I also had another event going on, I would write it all down here. And then determine, okay, well, does this need to change or does this need to move? I was not afraid to cross things out in this one. That's what it was for. I also had this little one. Again, I got all of these just because I wanted to try the different sizes. Not necessarily because I knew exactly what to do with all of these. However, what I did with this passport sized monthly insert was track my orders, and boy was I tracking a lot of orders throughout the year. So yeah, this was my order tracker. This here was an N1 monthly, and here I would just write symptoms and things that were going on. So this was like my health journal in a way. Whether I had a headache, whether I was on my monthly lady stuff, but yeah. And last but not least, in terms of planners, that I purchased outside and didn't make myself. I have this and one. This is the compact size. Poor thing has been through it. Love this color though. I can tell y'all that I started this, I believe around June. I did backfill the beginning of the year from the B6 that I previously showed. But here I journaled from August to October, which was as much as it gave me in terms of space. And then I kept filling both this one and the B6 in terms of the hourly. I would keep track of everything that I did hour to hour, what time I woke up, what time I went to sleep, that sort of thing, down to the minute at times. But at some point, I did get bored of that, and I started bullet journaling, I would say around September-ish, when I had to go back in office and I wanted to carry something with me. Nothing too big, nothing that included everything that I had. So this is an A6, but to me it's a pocket size. But I created the monthly, I created a tracker or a log, weeklies, dailies, that sort of thing. Cannot really show that much because there's a lot of confidential information in here. But that lasted me for 1 month, and then I decided to cut down a TN insert to B6 Slim, and this is a blank, well, was a blank insert, but I used it all up as well in a month. Same thing, monthly log, monthly, actually drew out the monthly, weeklies, birthday tracker, that kind of thing. So I had collections in here as well. So this was the next thing. And at some point in July, I did one book July, but I was also on a 3-week vacation at the time. Decided to set this up, drew in the monthly, did the health tracker here, I journaled here, and did everything in one insert. So for the month, I was out having fun and trying to keep up with this every so often. I mean, I was pretty consistent in that I filled it in every day, so that didn't fail me. So that was in terms of planners. Now for journals, I will start with, I guess, the memory keeping one, since part of those planners included journaling. I would say that it lasted me, in terms of the pages, it lasted me from January all the way through October. However, once October hit, I started journaling in various other things. So for example, all of these are, excuse that, all of these are journals. This lasted me a week. I went ham in this. I had a lot to say and I wanted to get creative with it. So let me see if there's anything at all that I can show. No, I cannot. Same thing, this lasted me a week. Some of these lasted me just a tad bit longer. I went crazy with stickers and washi tape. Here, not so much, it was just writing. But these were the end of the year ones. Let me see. Nope, not much I can show there. This was supposed to be a gratitude journal just for the month of December. I did a similar thing where I just used washi tape over the covers because they're the craft type of material, and I didn't want it to look boring, so washi tape it was. This I heavily stickered. My goodness, is there anything that I can show? No. So I heavily stickered this one, and I put boxes from, let's say, the Live Love Posh, like boxes that come in their sticker books, and I will write what I was grateful for the day. But those were my journals. Now I also had separately memory journals. I don't know why I decided to duplicate a lot of this information. Not necessarily duplicate, because it's not always the same or to the same extent. but this was solely for work. This work journal just kept everything in terms of anything that I was achieving, all the projects that I was working on. I was dealing with multiple things, so I wanted to keep this in here so that come performance review time, I had a log of everything I had done. And I didn't want to do that digitally, so I did it in this week size notebook. I also, and this is so chunky because I have a lot of pictures in here, but this is my 2024 in weeks. So the week is laid out, and on the right side, I would either put pictures, very, very tiny pictures, or some sort of decoration. Let me see if I can give an example. Like, for example, this would be a decoration. But I would basically summarize the day on the left side and write what was most notable of the day. But this was pretty straightforward to keep up with, and I really liked it. But then I decided that I wanted to do it on the daily. So I used 3 A5 journals to do that. And let me just show you guys these bad boys. Now, I started the year in this one. My goodness, let me see. Anything that I can show. Maybe this random thing. But it was not just those kind of pages, but ephemera and other things that I wanted to highlight from either my trips, things that I basically full-on journaled here. But this was a dot grid notebook from the Crookie Cup Collective. Pretty nice. I really like it. Held up pretty well in my opinion. This lasted me from January through March, so 3 months. Then things slowed down in terms of memory keeping, and this lasted me just a little bit longer. Let's see. It went from April to September. Yeah, April through September. And I'm talking, let me see if I can maybe show you this one here. This was a big order from London Gifties. This was around August time frame, but I wanted to keep a record of what I had ordered. There are other things too, pictures, that kind of thing, but I cannot really show those things for private reasons. But yeah, this one lasted me that long, from again April through September, and this was the last 3 months of the year. This was also fun. I kept reviews of places that I had shopped at, and I cannot really show all of that now. Anyway, but yeah, this was the last 3 months. So again, this was all for memory keeping. The others were similarly to memory keeping. As you can see, I had some planners, some memory keepers, and journals. Well, this year I decided to condense it a little bit more. I am hoping that it is not as bad. I didn't really get a planner to use in the same sense that I did last year. So to give you an example, let me just pull these up. This here is a B5 monthly. Same thing with this. Here I keep the same thing that I kept in this work journal. I'm gonna keep it in this one, with just noting what has been accomplished throughout the years, what projects I'm working on, that kind of thing. All kept in these 10 pages. And for this here, it will be similarly to what I was doing on the left side of my personal weeks memory journal. But basically on every day of the month, I am writing down what was notable from that day, that kind of thing. And in the back, I am tracking health. So I have a graph for sleep, stress, and mood. And then in the bottom, I track whether I exercised or if I visited friends or family, that kind of thing. So I plan on having this all 12 months in one book. This one here is the Keep All. This is a B6 Slim monthly booklet. So this will have all events that happen throughout the year, similarly to my A5, as well as some of the expenses. This one here, since I don't plan on having one large planner to keep all of the to-dos, this has served as my to-do tracker, as in I write my to-dos in an Alistair method kind of style. Let me see if I can maybe show you a week. Maybe not. Nonetheless, my to-dos will be on the right side with Monday through Sunday on the side, and then I will mark off when I completed the to-do. But this will be like for a whole year record. There's no notes or anything happening in here. In terms of bullet journaling, like day to day, this keeps it all. Collections, all that sort of thing. Ideas, brain dump, that kind of thing. These things are kept here. So far, this has been the month of January and part of February. Only the first week so far. But this will only last me two months. The way that I have it set up and the way that I use it. I like decorative bullet journaling. And while the decorative part is not necessary for many people, for me, if it's not pretty, I am not going to use it. So that's why I decided to do my own way of bullet journaling and actually planning out things and projects that I need to get done here. So yeah, 2 months this will last me. Once it's done, I'll just pick up another one of my notebooks, which I have plenty of, and continue bullet journaling. So that was for planners, which in reality are more memory keepers, let's be honest. For journals, I have a dream journal. I'm almost done with this one, and once I'm done, I'm just gonna grab another notebook and continue the dream journal. This I started in June of last year because previous to that date, I was dream journaling in my actual journal. So yeah, but yeah, this is my dream journal. This here is my memory keeper. I decided to keep this in the square, or try the first square notebook for the first time. The way that I see it, this is gonna last me until March, so January through March. And yeah, from there I'll just again pick up another notebook and go from there. And last but not least, in terms of journals, this is my daily journal. This is a 400-page notebook, blank, lovely color, mainly writing, because that's kind of what I do in terms of this kind of journal. Just writing it out. It doesn't have to be pretty, it doesn't have to be decorative. But yeah, the way that I use Pages, this is only a month here. I'm assuming that this will last me about 4 months, but if not, it's perfectly fine. I have much more in terms of my inventory, so I'm not afraid of using it up. And once it's done, it's done. So yeah, this is my current lineup. And I know it seems like a lot, but compared to what I did last year, I feel like it's much less. So yeah. All right, so in terms of going forward and how I want to continue with my system, I want to keep on condensing information as much as possible, while using my stash and not buying anything in addition to what I've already have. I know that coming from buying everything that I saw or was influenced to buy, it's a hard thing to just pull back and get back to center and just rethink things. But again, considering that I have so much the season of life that I'm in, I'm okay with using everything that I've got and creating my own thing. So hopefully I will not fall for the pretties again, although I already have a wish list of things. But in terms of my low buy, I have not purchased anything for the month of January. I did receive a gift since my birthday is in January. I did receive a gift. My very first fountain pen, because I already had fountain pen, ink, and dip pens. But in the future, I will be going through everything that I have in my stash. Probably would be in category since it is a lot. But yeah, so far I'm doing good with the low buy in terms of January spend. Didn't buy anything, didn't necessarily feel the need to buy anything. Now February is a little bit different because I know that there are a couple things coming out, but still I am putting them on the wish list first and waiting it out and just looking at reviews, that kind of thing, and even at some point setting and forgetting and seeing how that goes. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and as always, stay stellar.